ladies and gentlemen, kings and queens, gods and goddesses, and all those other glorious and not so glorious titles that we address ourselves with and that we acknowledge when people are talking to us. I'm Debra Faye, and this is the Debra Show. And this evening, life is good. This is a life is good discussion, blissfully organic. I have a very special love of my life with me this evening. Oh my goodness. When she smiles, I can't even remember if I wanted to try to act like I have an attitude or what. She just, it's like she just washes it all away with that smile. So I'm not going to tell you who she is. I'm going to let her tell you who she is. But this is a Life is Good, blissfully organic with ta-da. Go ahead on, baby. Tell them who you are.
I appreciate. I'm grateful and thankful for that wonderful introduction, and I'm also grateful for you inviting me on your platform, the Deborah Show, to share what I represent and who I am.
Yeah.
And I also give thanks for that compliment about my smile. I feel like life is good right now for me, and I feel like that energy is flowing from within to the external world.
Yeah.
So I am the founder of Nature's Bliss, a line of herb-based organic household cleaning products. Our mission is to invite the harmony of nature indoors. By utilizing the power of essential oils, we turn ordinary cleaning into aromatherapy experiences. Our purpose is to provide herb-based organic household cleaning products that inspire you to create an earthly, serene, and clean indoor environment. You can find me on social media platforms such as Facebook at NTRSBLISS, on Instagram at NTRS underscore BLISS.
And would you pronounce your name for us?
Yes, Tauheedah Jackson.
Tauheedah. Ooh, girl, that's like what that's like something we post. Is that a dish? Is that an organic dish or something?
Okay. It rhymes with fajitas, so sometimes you think about fajitas with Tahiti,
I
so
know.
it can
I
be.
know. So share with us a little bit about, were you always organic like this, or give us a little bit about your path, your journey, and what moved you
Okay.
into a life is good, blissfully organic, lifestyle. Share with us.
Yes. So my journey began in high school. I feel like I was going to be a major dancer. I did ballet, modern dance, tap, ballroom, and I had a physical condition where it resulted in surgery. And throughout this process of me healing and going through physical therapy, that particular avenue of expression was taken, I would say taken from me, but my energy was shifted in a different direction because energy is never lost, it's only transferred. So
Mhm.
that's when I became a volunteer at this community garden called Closer to Earth, where I would sit in the garden and meditate. I'll see a butterfly land on my hand, a bird fly above my head. That's when I got in tune and connected with nature and found the most freedom in my mind. Because at this time when I had this surgery, it was a spinal surgery, it localized me. It made me very sedentary. And so I had to find ways to connect with my external world without movement. And that's when I tapped into spirituality, meditating and fasting, and became vegetarian at that time. And also I shifted my diet for a more of an alkaline or organic lifestyle because I knew that my internal environment, my emotions, to the way that my diet, the way my body, odor, and things of that nature was a reflection of the foods that I was ingesting. So I believe my journey began officially in high school back in 2010.
Okay. So you've been at this a minute, huh? You've
Yes,
been
but I'm
okay.
still growing and learning, and I have moments of,
Yeah.
there's a balance to life, but there's also ups and downs that I go through as well as anyone else. So I'm actually looking for more information to learn and strengthen my journey, but it's definitely been a beautiful one.
Yeah. And now, did that, did you at any time think that you were not going to be able to be a mother? Because, to bear a child and to have a spinal surgery, a lot of our bearing is in that spine when we in the throes of
So
giving
yes, that
birth.
was one of the concerns. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm grateful for you to ask that question. But the neurologist did raise that concern. Once they removed, it was a tumor that was growing and pressing on my spine, causing paralysis in my legs. So when I did conceive my daughter, that was one of the concerns, that the nerve endings and things of that nature, were they going to be compressed? But I had a very healthy pregnancy, no pain.
Yeah.
By the grace of myself at the time, a lot of back rubs and massaging and intimacy, kept everything in alignment. But
Mhm.
everything turned out well. She's 3 years old, living live in color, and life is good for both of us at this time.
That is absolutely outstanding. So, um, where when you started doing all this organic uh, eating of
Mhm.
things, being a vegetarian, now there's a difference between vegan and vegetarian. So, did you find, was it difficult for you to go vegetarian, or did you feel that you didn't have a choice?
I feel like that's two questions in one, sister. But I feel like the
Mhm.
transition was a challenge initially. You go through a detox. Whenever you start removing certain foods, detoxing will come through your skin, the largest organ on our body. So I had a lot of skin issues prior, but when I did remove meats and dairy, and I removed certain, I'm gluten intolerant as well. So I removed certain things. I did get a major detox. I dropped 30 pounds within 30 days. And so that played onto my body image as a woman. So the transition was a challenge. I didn't per se feel forced or like it was an obligation,
Mhm.
because the medical modern science didn't really point out that I was extremely dehydrated and I was extremely constipated. And those two things create an atmosphere and environment within my body where disease or inflammation can take up space in a sense. So
Mhm.
I felt like at the time that was something I can do upon myself to prevent this. They said they kind of projected it was going to be a reoccurrent thing, that they may have to come in and do further surgery. So in my head, I had to shift my mindset to what am I ingesting? And that could be visually, auditorily, and the foods that I was ingesting as well.
Mhm. 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 So, um, did you made up your mind that no, we're not doing surgery again?
They did the surgery. Yeah, I made my mind that they're not going to do the surgery again. And I realized as I did my research further is that when the body is acidic, so that's why Dr. Sabi, rests in peace and paradise for his volume of work about the foods and the hybridation of certain foods. But when I realized that as long as my body is acidic, dehydrated, inflamed with mucus, then these particular things, parasites or yeast or candida or certain diseases can actually thrive. So my thing, especially around my home, when you have a clean space, a clean home, burning sage or using organic products with essential oils, you are creating a space that negativity cannot thrive, or negative thoughts in your mind, or the disease within your body can thrive as well.
Mhm. Mhm. Yes. So now you mentioned cleaning with organic products. So you make your own cleaning products?
Yes, ma'am, I do. The formulations that I have are very basic. I use earth. I use nature-based products. I use the old-fashioned vinegar. Vinegar is a wonderful cleanser. I
Uh-huh.
use Castile soap. I use my distilled water. And essential oils are like the base or the bread and butter of my products per
Uh-huh.
se, because they have antiviral, antifungal, and anti-parasitic, antibacterial, antimicroorganisms, anti-pathogen properties to it that really give my products their boost to it.
Do,
And basically, these are herbs that they go through different process of distillation, where the
right.
essential oil is extracted from the plant. So I'm just using herbs to clean my home. I use oil of oregano, which I've used to ingest. I use
Mhm.
tea tree oil. I use thyme. I use clove. These are very, very wonderful, and there's a wide range of herbs that we can extract from drinking. You can drink them as a tea, you can use them
Mhm.
as a tonics, or you could actually use them to clean your home as well.
Okay. Do you when we talk about botanicals, do you go foraging? Are do you study like the plants and things of that nature, and then actually go out into nature and actually, forage around to see if you can gather up some of these herbs?
That would
out in
be,
nature?
I feel like you are speaking to me and to my soul, because that's something that I envision myself doing. I have envisioned that. I currently do not uptake in that particular hobby, but that will be something in the future, to actually grow my own herbs and have a distillation system or something to extract the oil from to make my products. And
Mm-hmm.
also there's also a way to extract the oil from these herbs. Is if I did have a plant, I can put it in vinegar for up to 2 weeks, and that would infuse the vinegar with that particular herb instead of having essential oils instead.
Okay, okay. Now, question. Okay, now I know dust particles is, because we talking about cleaning now.
Mm-hmm.
Because and I compare that still with the method in which you use to identify and recognize and realize and accept and embrace that you were going to have to do some within cleaning, okay,
Mm-hmm.
so that the manifestation of it as it came forward, uh, while you were going through that, going back a little bit, uh, as you were cleaning your body, when did the idea develop that you would start using organic products, coming up with recipes, and you understand what I'm trying to ask you? Was
Yes.
that a part of, and then like, did that spark something for you to be, to create into nature's bliss?
So that's a wonderful question. I want to say that came after. That came after in the sense where I started to analyze everything. So I have a particular toothpaste with no fluoride. I have a particular all made organic deodorant. So it becomes a lifestyle when you make that change initially with your diet. You start to cleanse, you start to detox, or you go through fasting. Certain things in your mind makes you analyze everything around you, from your laundry detergent
Mhm.
to the type of sanitary napkins or the type of things used to cleanse your body in the shower. So it made me analyze everything when I made that initial dietary change.
Mhm. Mhm. Um, so do you make your own laundry detergent as well? For
So
wash, you still.
my
Oh,
current I still use mainstream detergent, but I make sure it's like free, dye free, fragrance free. I do have hypoallergenic skin, which means that I have contact dermatitis. Where
mhm,
if I get a hold of something that if it's synthetic, like even synthetic wires or stuff, certain things in jewelry will make my eczema flare up.
mhm,
Certain things in preservatives in food, particularly gluten, will make
mhm,
my eczema flare up. So
mhm,
I would say my current line consists of a glass cleaner, a multi-surface disinfectant, hand soap, hand sanitizer, and an air freshener. When I first founded the products in 2016, I only had a multi-surface disinfectant.
mhm. So, because a lot of people are skeptical when it comes to cleaning with
Mm-hmm.
organic products. It's almost like it makes them think that they're not strong enough to address the antifungal and the bacteria and these different germs um and dust. You know, uh, do you also have, like, in your cleaning products? Do you have something that people can use on their furniture and things of that nature? How do you market your products where people feel comfortable using
Okay.
cleaning with organic products?
Yes. So that is an area where we feel, and I've seen that as well. The mainstream Lysol or your disinfecting wipes. Most things that modern science does or use that nowadays are mimicking nature. So they're basically mimicking nature in the best way they can in a laboratory. And then once they get that replication to a certain level, they use it. The downfall of using mainstream disinfectants, they have chemicals in it that affect us on a holistic level. They affect our eyes, our lungs, our esophagus, and they disrupt our hormones. But aside of that, when we use mainstream cleansers in our home, they also create antibiotic or resistant bugs. So now you have these super bugs running around. So the balance with that nature brings is that they will kill scientifically bacteria, fungi, viruses, mold, and microorganisms, but they don't have that effect or the side effects of mainstream medicine, that they create antibiotic resistant or these particular super bugs that society is seeing today.
Mhm.
To make people more comfortable with it is that I would start using certain articles that scientists or biochemists have researched. They place these particular essential oils in petri dishes. This is like a
Mhm.
uh,
Mhm.
it's like a summarized version of what the biochemists conduct in their laboratory, but they take petri dishes and they have certain viruses in them. Certain viruses or bacteria, fungi, mold, and microorganisms have a certain profile.
Mhm.
And they'll take certain essential oils like clove, tea tree oil, some like these big head hitters,
Yeah.
oil of oregano, and they'll drop them inside the tea tree dishes, and it will show that the population was this amount, and under the microscope it decreased to this amount, or it was officially eliminated. So within those scientific research studies that biochemists conduct in laboratories, that will bring the validity to my products. But I have to keep in mind as well, even though my products contain the essential oils, it's also about the potency of my products. So maybe my products will have to be researched further to ensure that my multi-surface disinfectant has a level of potency to eradicate certain viruses and on potential surfaces.
Mhm. Now, are all organic products are they all naturally hypoallergenic?
No, I would say for the most part, they may be, but and essential oils have to be diluted. So when you have essential oils, for instance, I use tea tree oil for my skin. You have to dilute it in a carrier oil. So when you put essential oil topically, you have to take certain precautions that if you have, it can literally burn your skin. So it's a high concentration that you can dilute it in jojoba oil or your avocado oil, your olive oil. You put a couple drops in it. The products I made per se do not go on the skin. And granted, that when I do have an air freshener that you can spray around that eliminates pathogens in the air per se that you are breathing in, but it's also been diluted with witch hazel, which is a carrier for my air freshener. So there are things or precautions to take. There are also in contraindications to a lot of things that may arise depending on an individual basis. Those
Mhm.
are concerns regarding to pregnant women or children that have to be mindful of. But I would say that that comes into play if you're burning candles.
Mhm.
That comes into play for the air fresheners and any topical creams and things like that. They probably have diluted it or put a carrier oil in it. So if you do apply it topically, it doesn't create an adverse reaction to your skin.
That's great. That's great. So, dust, you know, with organic products, now mainstream products, and they're little dusting things for your furniture. Uh, Girl, I'm gonna say the end dust. If we know you can't end dust, dust is everywhere.
Okay.
However, uh, girl, the things that we buy into, don't believe the hype, and then we
Mhm.
get all up into it. With your organic cleaning products, how are they? How are they at you know uh cleaning the air? You know, where we at with that when we talking about cleaning the air? Because you was talking about a spray, so
Yes,
you have a particular type of Nature's Bliss
air
air
freshener.
spray.
Yes. So it's formulated with lemongrass, which is antiviral, antifungal, anti-pathogenic essential oil. But the best thing for clean air is plants. I would say plants give off oxygen and we give off carbon dioxide. So we're making that, harmonious exchange with the plants. But I would say outdoor air is the best quality air you can get. Even though I feel like there's so many chemicals outside in the air, but indoor air is actually toxic. So the more you get outside or you have your windows open
Mhm.
per se throughout the day, you're getting that fresh air in. I would say that in plants, indoor plants. I would say that's the best thing. But my air fresheners to eliminate unpleasant odors in the air. So we're talking about the bathrooms or your car garages or something like that. You want to freshen it, or even inside your vehicle. I would say that for that. But any major odors, I would say it could be your ventilation system inside your home. I
Mhm.
have hardwood floor in my home, so I try to minimize certain allergens because my daughter and I do have allergies, and that could be triggered back to your cleaning products or things of that nature as well. But I would say open the windows, get some fresh air in, be outside more than inside, weather permitting, and then the air freshener will suffice for more or less unpleasant odors in your bathroom or your car garage, even people's shoes. But but I feel like that those will suffice for those areas.
Yeah, because I had a brother who had his, my mama used to make him leave his shoes outside.
Outside the front door, he had to take his shoes off outside
Yeah,
the door before he
they had to be on the porch. Okay. Not
let
by
them
the door.
crowd.
Look, not even by the front door as you come in the house. No, over to the edge of the porch.
Oh dang! No, y'all don't want to get no wind to blow that in at all.
No. Now, question.
Mm-hmm.
You mentioned fresh air several times. And
Yes.
with everything that's going on right now, with the COVID and because I have my windows up, my back door, my screen door, I'm all about fresh air.
Yes.
Should we really, you and I are saying it's fresh.
Mm-hmm.
Where are you? Look, are you sure?
With everything going on with chemtrails and there's
Yeah.
so many things, more vehicles on the road, and you have airplanes, so many industrial things that are running off of non-renewable resources, emitting these emitting these ozone depleting substances. So I believe it's not necessarily fresh, but when in comparison to indoor air, it's supposed to be a level up from that. They're saying that the air that we're circulating in our homes is toxic because it's just a circulation. There's no flow of air. It's just stagnant. So with that being said, but if you have a lot of plants in your home, you're burning sage. Sage naturally cleanses the air. You purchase one of my air fresheners on naturesbliss.com with lemongrass in it. You can do things to enhance the air that you have within your home. But I feel like outside with nature, trees, the breeze, it is a toxic version because there's so many things, so much pollution going on around us, unfortunately. But it is supposed to be in comparison to the indoor air, it's supposed to be better.
Either way it goes, organically, it's much better than what we're circulating in our homes, unless we have a built-in, humidifiers and those ion extracting contraptions in the house, and they're pretty expensive. They sit on the floor and you can plug them into the wall, and they're supposed to pull the negative ions out of the air.
Oh, I have something similar to that we're talking about air. It's a Himalayan salt lamp.
Yes.
Himalayan salt lamps pull in the air like that.
Mhm.
They actually purify the air. I have one and oil diffusers. So the essential oil that I place inside my cleaning products, you can have oil diffusers going throughout your home. I have one at least. I have two going on at a time.
Mhm.
And I put oregano and lemongrass in those particular.
Mhm.
Lemongrass is antiviral, antibacterial, and then you have oregano, which is very healthy to even ingest. But there are different essential oils. You have essential oils that are topical. Then you have essential oils that you can ingest, and they could be the same essential oil name, but they have different potencies to them. But
Mhm.
I would definitely say yes. At Himalayan salt lamps, fresh air, open those windows, get some fresh air. Since we're indoors more now, everyone's working from home, everyone's homeschooling at this time, so we still need that fresh air, even though they flying the chemtrails and
Yes.
everyone's
Yes.
smoking cigarettes and everything. So
Yes. And you sound as though you have a particular background in herbology. You mentioned Dr. Sabi. Uh, did you study, in other words, how did you gather the knowledge that you have? Did you study it, or are you self-taught, or where are you at on the end of these things?
I wouldn't put myself as the conscious community because that could mean a lot of things. I feel like I'm consciously learning in the community. I would say that.
Yes.
And I would say this is self-taught because I have learned and watched people on YouTube. I follow Dr. Francis Cresswell Singh, Layla Africa. I follow yourself as well. Who has Dr. Sabi. Right now I'm reading a book with some other sisters called Sacred Woman by Queen Afua. So I'm following certain people that have walked on this path and have good tools underneath their belt to help us navigate it in a holistic way.
Yes, and I can vouch that I know that you are definitely doing life is good. You know, when I see you, I know that life is good. I look at you and I'm like,
Thank you.
wow. You know, every time I see you, I'm like, wow. And you know, you're always you just, you know, being health. You just look so healthy every time I see you. Now, what we're trying to do is not trying. I don't like that word trying. Trying is like admitting that you've already failed. Attempting. Um, was it hard for you to find packaging for your products? You
That's
know,
a
the
question.
containers.
So I'm actually going to be transitioning my packaging. So as I told them, life is a current and constantly as a journey for everyone. So my journey within my products, I'm learning as well. Essential oils, they biodegrade plastic. My products are currently housed in plastic. So I had to transition off the plastic, and plastic is not a biodegradable substance. So it's actually building up in the landfill. So I don't want to contribute that way to where I impact the environment in that sense. I'm trying to be, organic. And I feel like I have to lessen my ecological footprint by transitioning to glass amber jars. Amber having that tinted brown color, it
Yes.
protects essential oils when it exposed to sunlight. And also the glass is also biodegradable. You can recycle glass over and over and over again. So as I transition in the few months ahead, I plan to let go of the plastic. I currently have all plastic bottles. They are not EPA, but I forgot the terminology for it. But they are a grade of plastic to where it doesn't leach. The
Yes.
chemical
Right.
doesn't leach. So yes, so I have that particular grade of bottle, but the essential oil is so potent, it's so strong that it will erode that out, where that can potentially leach into my products. And I do not want my customers buying organic products when they have a bottle that potentially leaches into the product. So I'll be transitioning into glass amber jars, and I feel like that's just a lesson that I have learned. As I research and try to strengthen my expertise in this field, I come across things, and once you know something, you know more, you should do better. So that's one of my things. I'm moving forward and doing better by transitioning to amber glass jars.
Mhm. What would you say to a person uh, who has only been using mainstream cleaning products to
Mhm.
get them to have the confidence to at least begin trying organic cleaning products? How do you address that with people?
That is a interesting question. I have to think about that because I feel that it's going to take a level of convincing. And whenever you have that mainstream chemical cleanser that says it kills 99.9%
Mhm.
of bacteria, viruses, or germs, you have that back of your head, and you think like, what percentage does this product actually kill? So I understand that could be definitely a concern. My products are catered to residential customers at this time. When I do venture into a commercial business, I want to go more into the research and development of my products, to where I do find those chemists and biochemists or biologists to test my products in the laboratory and give me that statistical data to back where I can start labeling my products and say that it kills staphylococcus, it kills E. coli, it kills certain viral pathogens on your surfaces. Right now, I know that these particular essential oils have been studied by a biochemist in the National Institute of Health, but I can't per se label my product saying that it kills 99.9% because I did not do the research and product development on that level. So I feel like once I reach that point, that would give people a concrete idea exactly how they can compare my products to mainstream chemical products.
Mhm, mhm. Do you happen to have any of your products close by you so you can, like give us a display and let us see, like a bottle of it or two, or
I
any of
don't have it close by me, but I could walk and get one if we take a mini intermission. But
the,
yes, I have one in the same room with me, but not right underneath me to reach.
well, we waiting for you to go walk over there and go get it.
Yes, ma'am. I'll be back. Cut to commercial.
Yeah, we Uh, yes, yes. This is that kind of show where, if you got to get up and leave, the set, uh, it's cool with us. It's definitely cool with us. Cause this is the beauty of Corona.
Okay. All
Yeah.
right, I'm back. Press
Okay.
play.
All right. All right. All right.
All right, so this is the multi-surface disinfectant. It is 16 ounces. Maybe this light might be hitting it a certain way.
Yeah.
There we go.
There it is. Kind of hold it away from that. There you go. Right there.
Okay.
Flowerful. Oh, spring edition line.
Yes, yes.
Wow.
Then I
How did
have the hand sanitizer. We have
you
that one as
okay.
well.
I love those bottles.
Thank you. Thank you.
Mhm.
Thank you.
How did you
My
come up
products
with the
can be found
name?
online. Yes, ma'am.
How did you come up with the name for your business? What inspired you, you know, to go with that
Nature's
name?
Bliss. So I would say initially the name I remarketed myself. So back in 2016, the original name for my products was called Pine Soul. And I had a multi-surface disinfectant at the time. And I felt like it would in my head, the initial thought process that I had Pine Sol in my home, and I felt like it was just very strong. I looked at the ingredients, I couldn't pronounce any of it. I started to research it. A lot of these ingredients are carcinogenic, which means they cause cancer. They're
Mhm.
allergenic, they trigger allergies, asthma. A lot of these things are actually known to cause birth defects. So a lot of the things that they put in the is very capitalistic, and I feel like is people are not at the basis of business. It's more or less profit.
Right.
So that was my initial thing with Pine Soul. When I rebranded myself, I was like, well, Pine Soul was like I bit off of something. I really didn't feel like it was my true, like I didn't really make my own meal and sit down and eat it. I bit off of somebody else's meal. So I
Yeah.
really wanted to become authentic and original. So when I thought of Nature's Bliss, I started to look around and say, the things that I really want to use to clean is nature. And I feel like when you become in harmony with nature and you reflect that and embody that, life is very good in that sense of where
Yeah.
you actually have an environment that's in harmony with what the food that I eat, the music that I listen to, the people that I surround myself with. I was back in college, I had a roommate in my dorm. I was using fluoride free toothpaste, but I was using Dove deodorant. So, like I said, when you have this lifestyle change, you start analyzing everything around you.
Mhm.
So, I feel like Nature's Bliss is a reflection of me acknowledging nature and realizing the harmonious nature of nature in a sense that it brings to me in my home.
Mhm. Mhm. That is very wonderful, very wonderful. And and you've chosen a path that you have to, how we say walk your talk?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you got to live that. You have to embody. People look at your products and then they look at you.
Yes.
So and it's like, oh, they it's instinctual to look
Mm-hmm.
for something off.
Yeah.
Well, you're promoting this, but something seems off. And I'm glad that do you do any uh consultations with your products? Do people like have to have a sit down when they're purchasing your products so that they can thoroughly understand what they're buying so that they will appreciate it?
I currently have not had anyone request a consultation. I'm definitely open to that to create more transparency with my products.
Mhm.
Right now, some of the products that I sell are online based. I have an online store, so I haven't done any in store or pop up shops or things of that nature where I've been interacting with customers on a one on one basis.
Mhm.
But what I can say is that in the future, I plan to push more promotional videos of my products and create more transparency regarding me actually using the products or doing simple studies on them where I can order a kit on YouTube, not on YouTube, on Amazon, where
Mhm.
I take a Q-tip and swab maybe the refrigerator door, the doorknob in my front door, the remote control, some high traffic areas, and put it in a petri dish and spray my multi-surface disinfectant and see identify what actually happened. But also simple studies that I can do. But as I mentioned, I would like to look for more products. I'm looking for more research developers to actually see where my product stands regarding that. So
Mhm.
what I can say is that promotional videos can create transparency. I also post on social media once a day where I will research a particular plant, get the origin. I would state the actual properties that have antiviral, antifungal, antibacterial. I would say some summarizing the history or the potency of that plant and let people know that I actually included this in my formulations of my products.
So how do you come up with your recipes uh, to formulate like your hand sanitizers and your air fresheners and like do you have some one of your products where you could actually use it? You have hardwood floors, right?
Yes.
Do you have, is one of your products for cleaning floors?
So currently the products that I use to clean floors are multi-surface disinfectant. It has castile soap, essential oils, and so those particular combinations very easy to be used on a lot of surfaces. But when you get into, like you said, for couches, when you get into woods or particular, my floors actually has a veneer or a shine over it that protects it from water, so we're not really worried about that. But when we're talking about any dressers or tables with wood or leather or thinking certain granite surfaces, we have to get more into depth in what will react with the surface and actually bring that luster and shine forth.
Mhm.
So regarding my floor, I feel like that's my main thing that I have for that as of now. But moving forward, I will have to be formulating an actual floor cleaner because it would have to be more concentrated per se.
Mhm. Mhm. That sounds wonderful. Well, it's getting close to that time where we gotta do a question. I don't know which one that or ones you've selected. I am going.
I
Oh,
don't think I select one, sister. So you have to just let the energy flow. I don't think I selected one.
that's what I said. Whichever one or however many. Because and I tell everybody, Mama Timberlake, she came on the show and did all of them.
I know that's right. She set a standard, a level for everybody. I know that's right.
And
Look,
I
go
said,
hard or go home.
I
Go
said, Mama
hard or go
Timberlake,
home.
one question. She said, uh-uh, I'm not answering one question. She said, I'm gonna answer all of the questions. I was like,
I know that's right.
and you don't tell her no. Okay.
Hmm.
So I let her, and since then, she changed up my show's whole format. Okay. Because
Look, ain't been the same since.
it has not. It has not been because now everybody is like, well, what if I don't want to answer just one? I'm like, okay, here we go. As many of them as you feel comfortable answering, and as many of them that resonate with you, you are perfectly welcome to
Thank you.
address them. As I said, these questions were formulated to make us all think differently
Mm,
about love,
yes.
to change our communication and our conversation with love, and make us really think about, okay, so because we're so spontaneous when it comes to relationships that I don't think that we really give them thought. It's like, if it feels good, I'm gonna do it. If it look good, sound good, and he tastes good, or then I'm just boom. And the next thing you know, our relationship, we're in a toxic situation. Um, so on the Deborah Show, that's my mission and purpose is to get us to think about how are we approaching love, and if
Mm,
life is love, and we should love living life. Life is good, girl. I'm looking at you going, life is good. So that was the mindset that I went into and formulating these questions. Now, here we go. Now, keeping our minds on what does it mean, a different approach to love. What would be the first initial approach to begin interaction with the potential love interest? Friendship, surveying each other to see if the chemistry is there. And you can stop me at any time when you know you want to address something that resonates with you. And then after you've
okay.
addressed it and you want me to keep going, fine.
Okay.
Okay. Um, Number three, do we try to avoid intimacy altogether until a decision is made to become a couple? Number four, what are some different approaches that can be applied even in existing relationships? How
Okay.
about love by the numbers and other metaphysical approaches like astrology and compatibility charts? Number
Mm,
six, how do we determine when it's time to go make it an official love relationship? Number seven, what level of maturity are we looking for in our potential love partner or partners? Number eight, do we change up the normal questions like, so tell me about yourself, to something immediately addresses a priority of ours that our potential love partner or partners must have as a part of their personality, characteristics, or some other expectation of ours? And lastly, number nine, should we make agreements not to try to impress each other and be our natural selves?
those are all wonderfully formulated questions. And again, I am grateful and deeply humbled to be asked as a guest on your platform, The Debra Show,
Thank you.
where you take a different approach to love by answering these intricate, detailed, questions. So, and so the first thing that stood out to me that resonated, I don't remember all the questions, but the
Okay.
first thing that stood out to me was being intentional. And I heard intentionality in my mind.
Yes.
So intentional regarding the interactions with someone. And I was thinking about these questions earlier today to see how I would respond to them the best way I could.
Yeah.
And what I thought about is like how you surveying if you have compatibility, or if you're surveying if there's actual interest or attraction. A
Yeah.
lot of those things start initially lustful, and I feel like that particular space gets entertained, the lustful attraction gets entertained faster and more in depth than any other attraction.